Waiting on Eagle Eye to ready up.
Okay, I have started my stream, and this is Speedcurves. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We have a qualifying session coming right up, and before we get into that, I want to announce a very special treat for all the viewers, including myself today, which is the addition in the commentating booth of a Mr. F20R Gump, aka Gump. We want to thank you for joining us today, and yeah, thanks for being here.
Well, I appreciate the offer to. It's a nice change of pace. It's being down on the racetrack is all fun and fine and dandy, but when you get up here in the broadcast booth, it gives you a whole new perspective on things. So I appreciate the offer to come join.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I know that a lot of the drivers are looking forward to you being up here in the broadcast booth with me. So looking at the clock here, we are set to go. I am seeing one driver here who is not currently checked up, which would be Eagle Eye. So there he goes. He is now checked up. So we are at 18 drivers. Unfortunately, we had several no-shows due to life happening. So we want to wish them, hopefully they can come back and join us next race. So it looks like I'm spectating. No, I am not spectating. I am now spectating. And we got 5 viewers. I want to welcome all 5 viewers. And we are going to go ahead and launch qualifying here as I do a quick check of the settings just to verify that looks good. And what do you say, Gump? You ready to do this?
Let's do this thing.
Okay, here we go. Qualifying is starting right now. So, Mr. Gump, again, welcome to the WEC Series Ford versus Ferrari. And this was a highly anticipated race. A lot of people are excited about this. I know I am. I believe you are too. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this race, pans out with the Ford GT versus the Ferrari 360. So
yes, this has been a rivalry set, way back in the mid '60s. It still burns bright today.
And we are off. Qualifying has started. The grid is set. There's a 3-second delay between each driver. As you see, AXR Tech Q getting off the line first. He will be followed quickly by Easty and all the other drivers. So there's a 3-second delay for qualifying. Each driver's ghosted. As you can see, they will be able to run their line without any interference. Turn off this track map here, and what we're going to do here is we're going to allow the viewers to see the track times from the top of the banner that runs across. It says first lap right now, so there are no lap times. We do know that because this is an out lap, the first lap will really just be a time to warm up the tires, right there, Gump?
Yeah, it's like you said, time to start picking your lines, hitting your marks, get the tires up to pressure, get them up to speed, and it's all go from there.
Absolutely. So I got a couple things here that I'm really looking forward to discussing up here in the broadcast booth. First, I would like to take a few minutes and tell the viewers about the WEC Racing Series. So that's WEC, Weighted Endurance Championship. And stand by 1 second. I just got a word from one of our engineers that your voice, your audio is coming through a bit sketchy there. So maybe you can check your connection or maybe your microphone to be sure that it's properly adjusted. I can hear you. I will wait to hear back from our technical engineer to see if there's any further issues with that, aka my wife.
Technology, gotta love it.
She is tuned in separately on a cell phone. So yeah, so let's talk about some of the talking points. The WEC Racing Series Weighted Endurance Championship. So far, what we've seen is a pretty good momentum with the series. Really excited about it. It stands for Weighted Endurance Championship. And what that means is that drivers that seem to run a faster pace and a quicker, higher skill level tend to be weighted down with a heavier burden during the race through either a PI penalty in the past or this series, which is a new formula we're using. Is a 2-bucket series. So after qualifying and after the first race, the top 3 drivers will be separated into a second bucket with an 8-second start delay. So how do you think that's going to work out there, Mr. Gump?
Ooh, 8 seconds. With the cars being that close, that's a tall order to come back from. But like you said, the faster guys, to keep the series even, the faster guys will be, I hate to say penalized, but balance of performance, we'll call it. So I think they'll be able to overcome and still be competitive.
Right. Well, I certainly hope so, because that's the idea behind the WEC Racing Championship, is to create a little bit of an imbalance so that those who are higher skill level carry a bit more of a burden to be winning races. Otherwise, what we see is the top drivers just win all the time, and it makes it a little less interesting for spectators. And let's face it, without the spectators, racing isn't racing. It's not quite the same. So we want to keep the racing good and hard and clean, and give the spectators something to really cheer for. Do we not?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the whole point. I mean, you want people to buy the whole seat, but only need the edge.
I like that. That sounds like a pretty good bargain for the ticket sellers there. You pay for the whole seat, but you know, those who sell the ticket only the edge is being used. I like that. It's good stuff. So with that said about the WEC series, tell me, I'm sure you've been thinking about this, Gump. Podium threats, win threats, dark horse. What are your predictions for today's race? So who do you think is going to be on the podium, and do you have a dark horse in mind?
Well, being that I've actually been been fortunate enough to race with a lot of these gentlemen racing today. Some big names that always usually are on the top step of the podium. Mr. AXR Scarhand, he's usually a threat, as right now he's laid down the fastest lap time here in qualifying so far. I see Scarhands. Let me scan through the field real quick. I know Tech Hugh is always a quick one.
I just want to.
He's another one.
Let me interrupt you there for a second. My technical engineer has also informed me once again that there's a bit of a breakup or maybe some white noise coming from your microphone. So just want to give you a heads up on that.
Okay. Well, it might be
nothing you can do. That's fine, but
might be time for the engineers to come in and get me a new microphone, because I think this one's about had it.
Well,
so,
they're fired if they don't get this taken care of. I can tell you that.
Right on. I will be right back. Let's talk to the engineer staff to see if they can get me a different microphone.
Yes, sir. I will be standing by. So, again, as Mr. Gump gave his podium and win threats, I will like to give my opinions, because everybody likes to give their opinion. So, Speedcurves here. I'm going to go ahead and say my podium today. I'm going to go with race 1 podium. This is a bit of a stretch, but I like to be a little different. I'm going to go with race 1 win is going to go to RCC claim, with the second place going to a Ferrari Tech Q, and a third place going to, I'm going to go with Eagle Eye, third place. And my dark horse for today is going to be, I'm going to go with Cal Molester, because he's in the Ferrari, and we have yet to see if this Ferrari is really going to be a challenger. But I can't go with an all-Ford podium. I just can't. I can't do it. And we'll see. I could be completely wrong, but that's part of the fun of it, is putting yourself out there. So let's take a look quickly at our qualifying, where we're at here with qualifying. I see. Well, let's wait for the banner here. Currently, we are on lap 4 of 4, so we have Claim at a 2:15.9 clean. So he is on a provisional pole right now, and I'm going to run with Claim as we roll through this very last lap. This is a 4-lap qualifier, and we see Scarhand with a 2:16.1 in second place, and Tech Q with a 2:16.8 in third place. So currently the GT is the pole sitter, but we do have a Ferrari in the top 3, which is exciting because it's going to be a battle out here. I don't see, if the Ferrari is able to get in there and really battle with the GT, it's going to slow the GT up, because I did hear through several GT drivers that to run a fast lap here, you have to use the whole track. So we see a 2:14.9 from Eastie, which is incredibly fast. I can't tell if that's a clean lap. That is incredible. That's the fastest I've seen. So a 2:14.9 from Eastie in the Ford GT. I can only say well done to him if that is going to hold. Extremely impressive. So let's go to the previous race here. And it looks to me like a 2:15.985 from Eastie, which is not the 2:14 that I originally saw, so that must have been a dirty lap. And I'm seeing a 2:15.485 for Claim, which would put him on pole. So yeah, it looks to me like Mr. Claim with the 2:15.4 is our pole sitter for today. So that is exciting. We have seen a little bit faster than that through a practice session, but for a qualifying session, running a 2:15.4 is very is something to be said for that. So we are going to take a moment here and set the grid for the race 1. So give us just a moment here. And we will be right back.
Right. So with the grid being set, with qualifying, that was some interesting stuff. We're seeing that the GTs have the speed on the straights, and the Ferraris, they have the cornering ability. So this is going to be definitely going to be an interesting race. We've heard from the drivers through radio chat that they're confident on they're being run by themselves, but they're not quite sure how they're going to do in traffic. So as this race pans out, we will see who comes out on top. If the GTs are going to be able to stay out front, or are they going to get passed up by the more capable in the turns Ferraris? So it'll definitely be interesting to watch how this race unfolds. Let's go look at. I was going to see who qualified the fastest here. Looking at the times here. EC with the 2:15.9, Klein with the 2:15.4. Everybody was able to set a clean lap, so that is good. Everybody has been keeping the track limits. Nobody's been cutting corners, trying to be cheeky. So, speaking of track limits and penalties, this race series is going to be run with Forza regulation. And for those unfamiliar with it, it's something that Turn 10 added to Forza Motorsport 7 here. It's been a little bit, but they were running it as a beta for a while just to see what the community felt about it. It's just a way to penalize people if you can set it to both or one or the other. They have it where it penalizes people for causing an accident, and then they also have it for people cutting the track. Obviously, if you cut the track, you're looking to gain a tenth, 2/10, and so if you have people cutting the track, it's a little unfair for people who run the track clean. So this is a way to penalize them, and so what it will do is it accumulates penalty throughout the race, and at race end it adds it to your total time, and so you could lose 1, 2, maybe even 3 spots due to your accumulated penalties. For everybody that is tuned in to either Speedcurves Twitch stream or my own, we appreciate it. We hope this gains popularity, and with any bit of luck, hopefully I'll be invited back into the broadcast booth. I guess it all depends on my performance today, if they'll let me back in or not. And hopefully everybody can hear me all right. I do apologize for any sort of audio issues I was having with my microphone. I did get with engineering, and they gave me a different microphone, so hopefully I sound okay. So if anybody watching the stream wishes to communicate in the chat with either myself or Speedcurves, please feel free to do so. I do have the ability now. I have my phone right next to me. I can communicate in chat if you wish. You don't have to. So once we get the times tallied, the grid order will be set manually. Unfortunately, we tried several different settings and it just didn't work. It didn't come out right. So the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Speedcurves, who is the judge, jury, and executioner of this series, he has to go through and look at the times, and unfortunately he has to write them down or figure out in his head where everybody goes and then manually set the grid for race 1. But as we patiently wait for the grid to be set, I look forward to this race. Road America is absolutely amazing track. 14 corners, just a little over 4 miles long. I mean, that's a heck of a track. So as we can as we wait, we can run through the field, see. Well, that's my car. I'm not racing the Mazda RX-8. This is just what I brought. Got our RC Claim. Oh, where's this glitching out? As we see, our RC Claim is running the Ford GT. Easty is running the Ford GT. It looks like the gingerbread man. Driver gear. Got Scarhands running the GT. Eagle Eye running the Ford GT. The first Ferrari in the group is Mr. Tech Q. He's running the Ferrari. Forza Fun is also running the Ferrari. Moo Lester is running the Ferrari 360. We got Speed Jockey. He's running the Ford GT. Dragon's running the Ferrari. Kart Racer's running the GT. B-Max, he's running the Ferrari. Flying Papers is in the Ford. Popcorn's in the Ferrari. He is sponsored by multiple companies here, folks. We've got people that believe in this man's abilities. Very well done, sir. Got T Cadet is in the Ford GT. Blaster is in the Ferrari. SCG Racers in the Ford. Saturn is in the Ferrari. Speedcurves is running the Porsche 911 Carrera. Oh, we've got the grid set, folks. So with that, I will hand it back over to Speedcurves. So while we wait to hear from Mr. Speedcurves, as you can see, this will be a 11-lap event, race 1 of today, with 1 mandatory pit stop. As we wait to hear from Speedcurves, the man sitting right beside me, the judge, jury, and executioner of this series. Also waiting for everybody to ready up. Alright, so everything has been set. Everybody's checked up, except for Mr. Tech Q and Easty. I gotta make sure I spectate or I will miss out on this fun. But other than that, we are set to go, folks. Pour yourself a fizzy drink, get your Get your comfy chair ready, because it's about to go down.
Okay, this is Speedcurves back with you guys. How we doing there, Gump?
I held them off as long as I could. I ran out of things to talk about, but I did my very best.
Well, we are waiting for the grid is set. It took me about 10 minutes to calculate the times, and we're hoping for a next edition of Forza to do that for us. But calculated all the times, and the grid is set. Race 1 is ready to launch here very shortly. So we look like we have at least one Eagle Eye who is not checked up. And I see that we have 9 viewers at the moment. Want to welcome all 9 viewers and say thanks for joining us today. I think this is going to be a pretty exciting, fun race, but it looks like four GTs in the top 4. So at the moment, the 4 GTs are dominating the timesheets. So do you have any thoughts on that there, Mr. Gump?
Well, that's what I was talking about while the grid was being set. You know, hearing team communications during yesterday's practice session, the drivers felt very confident in the car when they were running by themselves, but they were trying to work out how the car would do in traffic. So you know, we haven't heard much from them since then. So it'll be interesting to see how this race unfolds, given that information.
Absolutely. I do believe that everyone's checked up. We're going to launch this thing. Before we do that, I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers. We have a viewer today that's we're very happy to have him watching the broadcast, and he is affiliated with Real World Racing, sanctioned racing, and his name is Kevin Simonson. So we want to thank you for joining us today and welcome you. Hopefully you enjoy the broadcast and the racing. So Gump, are we ready to do this?
You betcha. Let's do this thing.
All right, we are going to start it. One last check to make sure everyone is readied up, and they are. So here we go. Race 1, WEC Racing Series, Ford versus Ferrari. Let's do this.
Oh, this is exciting stuff.
I don't even know where I'm going to start, who I'm going to start viewing from.
Whew, that's a good one.
I'm going to probably start viewing from, I'm going to go with Tech Q. And
I'd say that's a solid
he's in the 5th
view.
position on the grid. Yep. If you want to run him or another one that's close to him, that would be excellent.
I'm going to start viewing Mr. Dragon, F20R Dragon.
Yep. So here we go, folks. Race 1 of the WEC Racing Series, Ford versus Ferrari. Exciting stuff here. A lot of anticipation leading up to this race today. I know myself, and we are off as the whole shot is taken by, looks like Flame, but he's immediately being challenged, coming down the start straight into turn 1. Another car just on his inside, it looks like, is it Easty? I can't say for sure, but from what I can tell, everybody through there nice and clean, well done, as we see Tech Q pushing, leading the Ferrari flag as the only Ferrari driver in the top 5. So we do believe that this is probably where he's going to suffer, going down this back straight as they come down through the Moraine sweep into turn 5. I do believe that we're going to see a move on the brakes here from Tech Q. He's going to have to do something early to try to get himself in position to, you know, get himself a good qualifying or a good finish position here. Speed Jockey in 5th place with AXR in 4th place. AXR Scarhand just in front of him. as we look and see first place is F20R Eastie with Claim just in second place there. And look, we got a battle here already with Claim and Scarhand, two drivers of different clubs. Again, WEC Racing brings drivers from different clubs together to compete on the racetrack together here. Scarhand just behind Claim there, as Eastie has, look at this, he's pulled a bit of a gap, and he is going to try to exploit that gap to the best of his ability to try to run away with this thing, as we see the drivers come through the very fast kink down into the back part of the track here where turn 12 Canada corner as they're going through there now. As Claim Scarhand followed just behind Scarhand is going to be Eagle Eye in fourth place. Speed Jockey, who is a 15-year-old driver. Kudos to him, a kart driver as well in real life. So Speed Jockey holding down fifth place. Great job. He's from Iowa, by the way. As look at this, we have several. Wow, Gump. Can I get a report from pit lane? It looks like we have several drivers that just pitted on lap 1.
Let's take a look here. We've got Force Fun, Tech Q, and Eagle Eye in the pits.
Wow, that's 3 drivers pitting on lap 1. That is a penalty. That is a big penalty. I don't know if that was a lapse of concentration or what have you. There is... I'm not sure how that's going to... We'll have to see what race direction says about that, but I do believe that was well written into the rules that you cannot pit on lap 1. However, let's get away from that and go back to the front, and we see Eastie is now being hounded by RCC Claim at the front. I'm going to follow this, Gump. If you want to take a look at what we have going towards mid-pack and see if there's anything really tasty up there to follow her and commentate on. But right now, we have Eastie and Claim with a great battle for first place. As they are now going through the carousel up into the kink. This is a section right here that's going to be a little bit more challenging for a Ford GT as it doesn't have the grip. As we see Claim go through there, did he incur a penalty? Forza race regulations are turned on, so if you cut track, you will incur a penalty. I did hear from Eastie in a pre-race interview saying that he believes that he can get through this with a very low penalty assessed to him. So we see there is Claim just going through the inside of that corner on that apex, coming to the final corner here at turn 14 as they are coming back onto the start straight finish. And now look at this, we see a pit by, looks like Claim. So this is lap 2. He is permitted to pit on lap 2 according to the rules.
RRC Saturns in the pits as well.
Sad turn in the pits. Oh, we have a bit of a collision there as Sad turn gets into the side of Claim. I'm going to run at the front of this with AXR Scarhand and see what his progress is on F20R Eastie. So right now we have 2 GTs running 1-2 and a Ferrari running in third place of Cow Molester. So he is going to try to put down the quick laps in that Ferrari to try to catch these two. So as we have spoken earlier, the Sector 1 of Road America really is a Ford GT section, but as they come down into turn 5 where Cow Molester is going through now, this is where the Ferrari tends to shine, does it not?
Yeah, the Ferraris definitely have the grip in the corners. I don't know if it's they're running more downforce than the GTs. We don't know, but we see it. We see it as far as lap times go, that they do go through the turns better than the GTs do.
Absolutely they do. I'm taking a look back here in the field with looks like Veloster is in 9th place. He is running a Ferrari. I'm not seeing a lot of traffic with him right now. He's got a beautiful livery there, as he has properly placed the WEC Racing League logo on his car. Good job to him for reading and following directions. That's a very beautiful livery he's got. So I'm going to come off ahead. Do you see anything in the field right now, Mr. Gump, that is really interesting to commentate on?
Well, I'm a little farther back in the field. I'm currently riding with Tech Q in 14th as he's chasing down Speed Jockey. Tech Q in the Ferrari, working on putting the moves on 13th place. Speed Jockey, as they come through the kink, he is close enough to where he could be getting the draft off of him.
Very nice. I have a great view currently of a 4th, 5th, and 6th position consisting of Kart Racer in 4th, Flying Papers in 5th, great job to him, and Dragon, F20R Dragon in 6th. They are coming down the start straight finish now, going into turn 1. Dragon, who is in the Ferrari, is going to suffer slightly there coming down that straight, and as they go through turns 1, 2, and 3, I expect him to lose a little bit of ground there to Flying Papers and Kart Racer, but once they get down into turn 5, I'm going to stay with Dragon here and see if he can make any progress on these 2 GTs in front of him. As you can see him slightly getting walked here on the back straight. As they come down, we see Flying Papers just ahead of Dragon. This is where the Ferrari should shine, as he got a beautiful shot of his livery there. Dragon doing a great job as riding right up on the back here of Flying Papers. Looks like Papers goes a little wide there, and it allows Dragon right up on the back of him. This is going to be interesting. Oh, he gets loose. There's going to be a battle of the brakes going down into turn 8 here as Dragon takes a tight inside line, and looks like, yes, he has. He's made that pass stick going into the carousel. As they come around the carousel, the Ferrari should shine here and pull some distance here on that Ford GT of Flying Papers as they come out of the carousel and work their way into the very fast kink. And Dragon here, if he gets this right, should continue to pull a bit of a gap on Flying Papers as he has. This is exciting stuff, folks. Hopefully these Ferraris can maximize their corner speed and corner entry exit to compete here with these 4 GTs. As Flying Papers doing a great job, though, on the brakes, going into Canada corner as they come back up through turn 13, Bill Mitchell bend, and setting up for the final turn, turn 14, very tricky off camber, decreasing radius here. Really suits the Ferrari better, but you got to get on the gas quick and make the most. As we see Dragon, look, he's going to the pits, and he is going to take his pit stop now. So what are you seeing in the back there, or what do you got a view of right now there?
Well, what I have a view of, 11th place RRC Claim. He is the first of the pack that pitted early, so he will more than likely take the spot from, let's see, checking telemetry. He will get by Dragon, who's currently in the pits, and he will also get by Veloster 1, who is just now leaving his pit stall.
Okay. I want to give a quick update here on the 4th place Kart Racer, who is chasing Kart Racer again in the Ford GT, is chasing Cal Molester in 3rd. And he is about, looks like 2 to 3 tenths behind him. And 2nd place Scarhand in a GT is still within sight, but just not within striking distance of Mr. Cal. So again, on board here with Kart Racer as he is chasing down the Ferrari. We're in the section of the track here where the Ferrari is going to shine as they come through turn 8 and look to head into the carousel. If you get this right with the Ferrari, it's absolutely just a blast because the Ferrari can really stick it and get on the gas early coming out of the carousel as they are in now, and set yourself up for a very fast kink, which would be turn 11, heading into the Kettle Bottoms straight. As you see, they have just gone through there, as they're full gas. This is all full throttle back there. They get hard on the brakes coming into Canada Corner, turn 12. So this battle here is not materialized too much more than what it has been for the last, I'd say half lap or so. So are you seeing anything else that maybe is a little bit closer there, Mr. Gump?
Well, I was back in the back of the pack here. I was watching a good battle between SDG Racer and RRC Saturn. SDG Racer has gotten by and taken 16th spot from Saturn.
SCG Racer off course.
Yeah,
That's going to cost them. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I got a little bit excited when I saw the rear end of that Ford GT get way sideways, which is now giving Saturn a chance to probably strike. As they come through Canada Corner, thanks for bringing me back to this portion of the track, because that was a bit exciting. I mean, that really could have spelled disaster for racers.
Could have. He didn't make contact with the wall. Oof.
Yes,
That's
again, we do
corner.
have damage on, and if you take contact with another car or a wall or a tire wall or anything of that sort, you will incur damage, which will cause you to be limping around the racetrack, depending on the amount of damage you have.
Because we've got Z-Cadet and Shades coming out of the pits, so they've taken their mandatory stop.
So who has not pitted? Easty, I would say, has not pitted. Scarhand has not pitted. Let's take a look at the progress here with Scarhand. Look at this. Scarhand is now creeping up ever so easily, not easily, but he's creeping up a bit on F20R Easty, and I'm sure that Mr. Easty is feeling that pressure at the moment, as Scarhand, a very accomplished driver as well, and has had a lot of success in the WEC Racing Series for the first two series that we ran. He's been a very committed member of this series. So I see, look, he's within a 2/10 right now. So Scarhand threatening to take the lead of this race. And Easty's probably going to have to defend here in not too distant future.
Most definitely, yeah. He's seeing Scarhand in his mirror, creeping ever so close, and that always sits in the back of your mind. If you've got somebody approaching you, as Easty's probably, like you said, feeling the pressure now.
Absolutely. Downforce settings here may be showing. I'm seeing Easty with a little bit more straight line speed, or could have been the exit, a very solid exit as well. But downforce settings will affect this GT's top speed. So each driver able to tune their car, fully tune their car to however they see fit to get the quickest lap time, but also balance it with a handling of the car as well. So this battle is continuing to materialize into something really good here in the very near future. I'm going to stay here, Mr. Gump, if you want to take a look back and see if there's anything in the field that is close racing, any good battles going on. I'm very curious myself to see if Scarhand is able to reel in Easty through this back section, as I think that Scarhand, I suspect that he has a little bit more downforce on his car, which will give him maybe a bit of advantage through this the second third of the track here as they go down through turn 8, moving into the carousel. And it does look visually as though Scarhand is ever so gaining on Easty here.
Right, a little farther back in the field, the battle between RRC Saturn and SCG Racer is still on. In the straightaways, the GT does get away, but Saturn and the Ferrari does reel him back in the infill section.
Absolutely. Currently lap 7 of 11, folks, so we are more than halfway finished with this race, as we will see Easty, as he crosses the finish line, will start lap 8. Once he does, I'm going to take a ride along with Easty for one lap, as we tend to like to do once in a while. Oh, he's going in the pits, so he's going to suffer a position loss there to Scarhand. So Scarhand stays out. So I'm going to go ahead and ride along with Scarhand for one lap to give the viewers a view of what the drivers see. So here we go. Scarhand come down into turn 1, hard on the brakes here as he navigates turn 1. You got to get this right, but they can't cross that white line there or you will incur a penalty as they go to what is known as turn 2, hard on the brakes into turn 3. You have to get this right with the GT as he back on the gas, and he's going to be good there because he keeps at least one set of tires inside the white line. And he's running about 170 down through here as he is approaching. As he's going down the Moraine sweep, approaching turn 5, hard on the brakes, he's looking to just kiss that apex up on the rumble strip. Nicely done, hard on the gas again as he runs up to turn 6, up the hill, under the Corvette bridge, and got to get the section right too. Camber changes quite a bit there. Car slides around, moving around through there as he is going through turn 7. Another tricky corner, does well there. No traffic in front of him, able to run the whole track as he comes down into turn 8. This is where the car struggles compared to the Ferrari, but he's doing a great job lining himself up for the carousel as he runs into the carousel. The first section a little bit slow, you can hear him off gas as he feeds the gas back on ever so slightly to settle the chassis and pushes out of the carousel, coming down into the kink. Could be a disaster here if you get this wrong, but he does good there, doesn't slide too much, and does a great job through there. That's why he's in first place, folks. And he's running down through the Kettle Bottom straight, in hard on the brakes in the Canada corner, turn 12. Kisses the inside there, slightly on the gas, settles the chassis and the suspension. Again, every corner so critical here on Road America to keep the speed up. Coming up to the final corner, turn 14, off camber, decreasing radius. You got to be careful to not push out too far. He does a great job there, hard on the gas. And look at this, I'm not going to skip across for a time there. He's into the pits, and he's taking his pit now. So I do believe that every driver has pitted at this point. Who is going to inherit first? Cal Molester in the Ferrari. Awesome.
He's in the pits as well. Yep.
Yes, he is. And I'm going to take a look at Flying Papers as he drives past both of those drivers. And now Flying Papers in the Ferrari in first place. So I think this is the first time we've seen the Ferrari holding down the first place spot. So as he navigates through turn 1, not seeing anybody behind him. As Flying Paper, my mistake, viewers. I called him in a Ferrari. Due to the onboard footage, that was a mistake. So yes, we make mistakes here up in the broadcast booth, even with all the technology. So he is in the Ford GT, and we have not seen a Ferrari lead this race yet. So I'm looking through. Let's take a look at Claim here. And Claim is running by himself with no traffic in front or behind him. Easty in third place with Scarhand out of the pits in fourth place. So Tech Q, the first Ferrari in sixth place here. You know, race 2, Gump, reverse grid. It's gonna be interesting to see how these Ferraris can respond in race 2.
It definitely will, because as it says now, we've got the majority of the Ferraris near the back of the field, which is surprising to me, because I thought they would be able to give the Ford a little bit more fight.
Right.
With the grid order being reversed, they will start near the front, and the Fords, from suffering traffic, will have to pick and choose where they make their pass in race 2.
It looks like we've had one disconnect, a couple disconnects. We also have a couple drivers that are lapped. Actually, I take that back. We definitely have one disconnect of Saturn. It's very unfortunate to see that. Not sure if he was having internet issues or if there was a situation there that we didn't get a chance to view. But we are on lap 9 of 11. I am with Tech Q as he is chasing down Eagle Eye. And this is going to be an interesting last 2.5 laps as they are coming down onto the start straight finish. It's Eagle Eye in the GT. Look at that great exit from AXR Tech U. I'm going to stay here as he is pushing very hard and wants to catch Eagle Eye and give him a run for his money with a field full of GTs in the top 3. Keys to victory here, Gump. What do you think the keys to victory are for these? I mean, maybe the key to victory is just driving a Ford at this point, because Ferrari they're being annihilated.
Well, it could be the track placed and strengths of the Ford. I mean, this is a 4-mile long track with plenty of open, straightaways for the Ford to just stretch its legs. The poor Ferrari is just left in the dust. But next round, it could be the Ferrari's track. You never know.
Right. It could be. I'm going to check back Actually, I'm going to stay here with Tech Q as they go through turn 5 under the Corvette bridge and into turn 6. I'm very curious to see, is Tech Q going to reel in Eagle Eye here as they go through the section that does favor the Ferrari as they come down, staring down into turn 8, coming down the slight grade. It's called the Hurry Downs. Very interesting name, Hurry Downs, for that section of portion of the track. But now Tech Q into the carousel just behind Eagle Eye. He has reeled him in for sure, slightly, but Eagle Eye still with the advantage. Coming out of the carousel. Yep, go ahead there, Mr. Gump.
One thing that I have overlooked, and maybe you have as well, Eagle Eye has 7.75 seconds of penalty, and Tech Q has none.
Oh, wow. You know what? I have to say, we haven't even talked about penalty time. That is very interesting. So it looks as though if things were to end right now, Tech Q would be ahead of Mr. Eagle Eye in the final race positions. So let's just give the viewers, look at that, Tech Q nicely going through that section. And Tech Q does know that Eagle Eye has a penalty. He should be able to see that and know that he is not going to probably take a risk with Eagle Eye, because if he can't catch the third place finisher, or the third place finisher, he's not gonna push too hard to take a risk there. As we are now on lap 11, the final lap, we have seen the white flag, and I don't think Tech Q's gonna do anything here. He's not gonna do anything crazy. Yeah, because he's got a lead.
He's a smart racer. He knows what he has to do to get the job done. He's just going to kind of stick with Eagle Eye because he knows that he'll inherit that spot with the penalties accumulated from Eagle Eye.
As I stay with this, these racers here, could you take a look back to see it is final lap? Let's make sure we're not missing any action here.
Well, there is 6th and 7th place, Speedjack and Cow Molester. They are within 2 car lengths of each other as they head underneath the Corvette bridge into turn 6.
They sure are. If you could stay on them and let us know what transpires there, I will stay with Mr. Tech Q to see if he puts anything on Eagle Eye here going into the carousel. Right now, it's about a half a second gap between the two.
Oh my gosh!
So again,
even farther back in the field, we've got Flying Papers in 10th being hounded by 11th place VMAX as they come into the carousel.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, VMAX going wide there in the Ferrari, probably gets himself a little bit off the section where he really should be have an advantage there. Kind of goofed himself up and killed his drive, but I see what you're saying. VMAX gonna make a challenge. Stay here. I will jump up to the front and ride with our first place RRC claim as he crosses the finish line and takes a win with F20R Easty second place, not too far behind him, and Scarhand in third. So we got 3 GTs. Top 3. So what do you got back there, Gump, so we don't miss any of the action?
Well, coming off the last quarter, VMAX had a very good exit, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the GT is going to stretch his legs, and it does. He's 6, 7, 8 car lengths ahead as he crosses the line.
Again, for the viewers, we have 11 viewers now. I want to say thank you to all the viewers. I do want to explain, as we see the cars continue to finish their final lap here with a 4 minutes end of timer countdown. Race regulations are turned on. What that means is that as you are circulating the track and racing, if you happen to go out of bounds or beyond the white line there, as you see, you will incur a potential penalty if the computer algorithm deems that it benefited your lap time. So looking at previous race here, let's take a final look and see what we have. So RRC Claim took 3 penalties, 2.5 seconds, but still managed to finish first. Easty took a 2nd place. Scarhand took a 3rd place, with Tech Q taking a 4th place. So look at this. Eagle Eye, 14 penalties, was relegated from 4th to 7th. So we have 4th and 5th place, both Ferraris. Tech Q Cow Molester, Speed Jockey. Again, our 15-year-old driver from Iowa. Really good to see him out here competing, taking the 6th place. And Eagle Eye with, again, that 7th. Forza Fun in a Ferrari, taking 8th, followed by Dragon in a Ferrari. 9th, Flying Papers 10th, Kart Racer 11th, VMAX 12th, Popcorn 13th. A good showing for him, as he has been getting faster and faster every time he shows up. And we see SCG Racer in 14th, followed by Shades. Z-Cadet showed a lot of pace in practice, and what happened there with him? He's the 16th finisher. 10 penalty points, 5 seconds.
I don't think that helped.
No, I can't say that it did. Let's take a look. Anybody raced through with no penalties? I don't see anybody with no penalties. Sad turn with a disconnect of some sort, not finishing with the 5 penalties. And what's the fastest lap are you seeing here, Gump?
Well, I was just looking at total penalty time, and AXR Scarhand and F20R Dragon had the least amount of penalty with only half a second. So good for them.
Yeah, very well done. But looking at the lap time, a 2:15.3 for Claim. Untouchable.
That is yeah.
Scarhand.
That's screaming.
Yeah, Scarhand with a 2:15.9. Claim is going to join Easty and Scarhand with a bucket penalty for race 2. So what's going to happen is we're going to see Claim, Easty, and Scarhand incur what is known as a weighted penalty for race 2. So they will be relegated to the back of the grid with an 8-second bucket penalty. So this is the first time we've done this here at the WEC. Typically in the past we've done PI penalties, but doing something different this series. We're going to see if this bucket penalty is how that works out for these drivers. So I'm looking at total time here. It looks to me like Claim won this race with a 25-minute, 38-second total, and Easty finishing, actually it's going to be the 4th place AXR Tech Q, finishing just under 10 seconds behind him. So if you calculate that with an 8-second bucket penalty for race 2, boy, that might be a really close finish at the end of second race.
Yeah, because I mean, it's one thing to catch up to somebody, but it's another thing to pass them and cleanly pass them.
Absolutely. So I'm very interested to see if the theories from the WEC Racing League of the 8-second bucket penalty is going to prove effective or not. Of course, this is a grassroots effort from the WEC Racing League and a lot of unknowns. So I'm going to get the second race lobby set up and mute myself out of the broadcasting booth there. If you could just kind of cover, and I'll set this thing up. I will be back shortly.
Right. So what Mr. Speedcurves was talking about in the race setup, you can create number of driver buckets, and what that does is a bucket is basically a grouping of cars. So what's actually going to happen is the top three finishers will get a placed in a bucket, and like Speakers was commenting on earlier, they will be set to launch 8 seconds after the rest of the field goes. It's going to feel like an eternity for those drivers, but uh, seeing the lap times that they were able to turn out, wow, it's going to make for some interesting stuff come second to last lap. See how they can pick and choose their way through the field. So it's going to be very interesting. Series before, or race, yeah, the races before that I've actually participated in, we were assigned the top three finishers in race one were given a PI penalty, and basically what it was is we were given less horsepower, or we had a horsepower restriction. So your lap times were roughly half a second a lap slower than they were the previous race. And so it really did help bring everybody onto a level playing field. So good thing, that's in place, because it gives everybody, like I said before, a level playing field, gives everybody a chance to do well in this series. Very well thought out, very well executed. So I'm just checking the Twitch chat. It's kind of empty. So if if you're watching, just drop a line, say hi, tell us how we're doing. You use the feedback. Some weird stuff going on with Forza right at the moment. That's me. That's my driver gear. That's the car I showed up with. It's not actually running as you saw in race one, but it doesn't. When you go through the field, it doesn't change the car. It only changes the driver gear, and they're ghosted. So weird things are happening on Forza 7. Okay, so as I look through the field here, as you see to the very left of the player names, there's the check mark and the little microphone. There's a different color. Red would be the specific bucket that they're in. So as we look, the blues are going to be a different bucket, and I guess it's all dependent on how Speakers has set it up. But the top three finishers of race one will be in a certain bucket, and they will have a delayed start of 8 seconds. So we got Scar Hands in one. Got more drivers. While we have a break in the action, I will use this opportunity to refill my fizzy beverage. I will be right back. Oh no.
Okay, I just got disconnected from the lobby. Not sure why.
Right.
So I'm going to start a new lobby and invite everybody into that lobby.
Oh, that sucks. But yeah, it happens.
It looks to me like Forza Fun has figured that out and is now joining me. So I'm going to set this up and get everybody back in here. Unfortunately, these are things that happen. So stay with us, be patient with us, and as soon as I load this, we will get the second race off.
Isn't technology great?
Exactly.
Just a quick question there, Mr. Speedcurves. Has your sound engineer
Yes,
approved of the new microphone?
I'll stand by. I'll let you know. I'm getting a no on that. It's about the same.
Oh, well, crap.
It is what it is. We'll make an adjustment next time. What I'm finding is I'm not having enough time to set the grid before it times out on me. So.
Right.
So unfortunately, I can't set the grid until all drivers are in the room. So I'm going to wait for that to take place. Hopefully, they get in soon. So again, if you're watching, we appreciate your patience while we get these disconnect issues worked out and set the grid, which does take a few extra minutes. So I appreciate your patience. So, Mr. Gump, I'm sending invites to some of the drivers who are not in the lobby, and hopefully that will be rectified here shortly. So, good news is we do have RCC Twisted, who was able to get into race 2 here. So he was not able to make race 1. So if that's good for everybody.
The more the merrier. So as we wait for everything to be rectified and everybody ready up, I'd just like to take a second to thank everybody that has tuned in to the stream. This is new for me, being a co-commentator with somebody. So as we continue to do so, I hate to say chemistry because that just sounds a little wrong, but as we work together, we'll become used to each other. We may be able to finish each other's sentences or know what the next person is going to say. So as we continue to do so, I hope you guys I hope you guys enjoy, because there may be more like this in the future. So, Mr. Speedcurves, I may have you. I'm not sure how you set this up, sir, but the top 3 from the previous race are going to be in the blue bucket. Am I correct?
They'll be in bucket 2. Okay, I am having an issue here getting the buckets set up properly. So I don't know if you can assist me on how to change the buckets, but the way I had done it in the past is not working at the moment. So do you have any input on why that may be?
Well, let's see. Group 1 is untouched, right? You know what? Let's for Group 1, let's just put minimum drivers to 0. And then max drivers
I
to
cannot
0.
change RR. Okay, I need claim to uncheck for me to. I need
Yes.
everybody to uncheck.
You may.
So can you go in and ask everybody to uncheck, and then I will set the grid properly, and then once give me like a minute, stay in there with them, and then return to this chat. So I will have time to change the bucket group and then make sure to add your audio again.
Will do. I'm not sure how it's colored because there's a blue and a red. Group 2 is going to be the one.
That's all right. I'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. I will be right back. I will get with the crew.
Thank you. Again, 15 viewers, thank you for joining in. This is the first time we've tried this, so that is why we are delayed with some technical difficulties. Appreciate your patience. Give you time to grab a new refreshment and whatnot. But we are going to have all drivers uncheck so that we can set this up properly. And it looks like they are now doing that. So yes, that does help. So he is group 2. And Scarhan and East E.
right back in. Audio is included. Let's do this
So
thing.
I cannot set the grid because everybody's checked. I cannot manipulate the grid when people are checked up. So can you go back and ask everybody to uncheck for more than 5 seconds so that I could set the grid? And then once I have the grid set, then we will let them know to check up.
Roger that.
I cannot manipulate anything with them checked up, unfortunately. Thank you.
Did you get everything, fella? Everything's working all right now?
Okay, we do have everything working correctly now. So
Finally.
I had
Goodness.
a bit of a problem there with a couple of viewers in the race lobby I wasn't expecting, which was getting in the way of me setting the grid. So it was a bit confusing, but got past it, and now we are ready to begin this launch. 17 viewers, pretty cool.
Wow.
We're gonna launch
Thanks,
this
everyone.
thing, and yeah, we're gonna launch this thing. And race 2 of the WEC Racing Series with several technical difficulties. I'm going to call this a learning experience that we will not have this issue next time.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So 20 drivers in the grid and just waiting for a few people to check up, and we're going to fire this thing off. Again, you will see a second bucket with a delayed start.
Just waiting on Scarhand and Easty.
Looks like Scarhand and Easty are the last two. And actually Dragon, Forza Fun. And just to be sure, Mr. Gump, are you spectating?
Yes, I am, and my audio is included, so hopefully I did it right this time.
I will make sure that mine's included as well. Mine is included as well.
Everybody is checked up.
Okay, everybody's checked up? All
Correct.
right, let's do this. We are going to launch this race. I'm excited. I'm a bit stressed because of all that.
I can tell.
But here we go. This is going to happen right now. And looks good. Let's hopefully this bucket thing works. I took my time setting it up. And we'll see if the top 3 finishers from the first race are delayed in the second bucket. So, if for some reason there's an obvious issue here, it looks good. All right,
Yep,
so we are
like
off. Yeah, it looks correct. So Veloster won with the whole shot. Z-Cadet in a GT coming down the inside. He's going to get a better drive because of the launch capabilities. That GT does get in front of Veloster 1. I'm going to stay here at the front. Looks like there's a bit of traffic in the back there. Riding on with VMAX at the moment here in the Ferrari, working their way through turn 3. The group of cars very nicely gets through there without any issues. We like to see that. That's what we strive for, but this is where you're going to see these GTs really stretch their legs as Popcorn now being challenged by a GT side-by-side coming down through the Moraine sweep here into turn 5 as we are in lap 1. Oh, we got VMAX and Kart Racer coming together. It's going to slow both racers up as they come down into turn 6. And they get through there nice and tidy. We're going to look to see some of the Ferraris here really challenge as, look at this, a Ferrari leads this race by Veloster in the Ferrari now leading. Gump, if you can take a look back at our second group and see their progress, let me know if there is anything back there that's we must report on. Currently, I'm going to stay here at the front with the top drivers. Oh, Racer off circuit in the GT. Wasn't able to keep the carousel in check. He is off circuit. Going to lose a lot of positions there. Heading down as we see VMAX into the kink. Full speed through there. Exciting stuff here. Our leader, Veloster 1, coming down into Canada corner with Popcorn third place, followed by VMAX and Eagle Eye in 5th. Eagle Eye doing a great job to make up quite a few positions in the GT. I am curious to see if he's going to make a move here for some of the racers in front of him. A lot of nerves here in the first lap. Tires up to speed. And look at this. We got a GT off circuit. It looks like Z-Cadet coming through the last corner there onto the front straight. Going to lose a ton of time, giving VMAX the opportunity to attack here. I'm going to take a different camera angle. And we are on board here with Eagle Eye as they are going to attack VMAX going into turn 1. VMAX is going to have the corner speed. Is he able to hold it? Z-Cadet looking up the inside as VMAX suffering a bit here on acceleration, but probably going to continue to attack. I'll probably see Eagle Eye work that angle up the inside as well as there's some contact. Looks like Eagle Eye gonna benefit from that. They're gonna give each other room. Give each other room here, guys. Z-Cadet off to the right and VMAX off to the left. So Eagle Eye now having a bit of an inside line on Z-Cadet here. On the brakes hard going to turn 5. And looks like Eagle Eye able to cleanly get through there. Now in second place. Immediately as Veloster 1 is trying to exploit that GT through the section of the track that really favors the Ferrari. I'm going to go back here a little bit in the field with Forza Fun in 5th. What do you got back there? What do you got? What are you seeing back there, Gump?
We had contact. We're trying to work back and see who exactly it was. Looks like Popcorn had it coming together with somebody. He was spun off track.
So Popcorn off track. Okay, currently I'm riding on with Ford Vs Fun in 5th place, being chased by Shades, but he is just behind VMAX and another Ferrari going through the kink, which is Ferrari territory. Able to get through full speed as Ford Vs Fun is looking to chase down VMAX as they are running into Canada Corner as we see Kart Racer in the GT down in 3rd place. So first and second place, Veloster and Eagle Eye. Not threatened at the moment. Go ahead.
Just an update. The pack or the bucket that started 8 seconds behind. We've got Easty. He's worked his way on. This is lap 2, folks. He's worked his way up to 12th place. He's claimed right behind him in 13th.
Wow. As we see a driver in the pits. I didn't quite see who that was. We'll check back with that. But one driver in the pits as they come through and start lap 3. Ford Vs Fun right on the side of VMAX, side by side, going to turn 1. Is Ford Vs Fun going to hold that line? He does. VMAX is not giving it up easy. They're still side by side, going through turn 2 up into turn 3. This is going to be advantage Ford Vs Fun as he gets the inside line, exits out there cleanly, and down the Moraine sweep as they run full gas. Who's got more downforce? It's going to determine straight line speed with these Ferraris. Big effect as they run down the Moraine sweep into turn 5. Looks like Ford Vs Fun's going to hold that advantage going into turn 5. So nicely done there. Kart Racer in 3rd, just behind the 2nd place, and Veloster 1. So now we have Eagle Eye has exploited the power of the GT and has taken 1st place. So Eagle Eye, who was a 7th place finisher race 1 and a previous race winner in the WEC series, now in race 1. So Veloster 1 Kart Racer, 2 different manufacturers battling going into the carousel. Should be advantage Ferrari, and it is upon exit of the carousel looking down into the kink. So we'll come back to this battle. What are you seeing in the back there?
Well, I'm a little farther back in the pack. I'm riding right now 11th place Miata driver is going through the carousel, and he's got flying papers in the GT all over in his mirrors as they head into the kink.
And we have I have something to report here. Claim, not to cut you off, but Claim now making a move on Zcadet, going down into Canada Corner on the brakes hard as they enter. Zcadet getting a little loose, maybe outbrakes himself as Claim works his way nicely through the inside as he is going to come up and take through Thunder Valley and Dual Metro Bend to set himself up for the final turn 14 and get maximum drive onto that start straight finish. So see if he can catch the 6th place driver in front of him. So and look at this, Claim into the pits. So we are going to get off that view. Zcadet has inherited that spot. We have a couple drivers in the pits. So
I'm not sure if it's a glitch in the game or what, but Miata driver is stopped on the track. Oh, now he's going. It's hard to tell where
maybe
exactly
he's got damage. Could have damage.
Yeah. I'm gonna look into that right now.
Can we get a read on some of the racers that joined us for race 2, which will be Twisted and Sad Turn? Where are they? Both racers that with a lot of experience. I'm looking for them now. I got Twisted now in 17th position. Let's take a look at him. And nothing in front of him and nothing behind him. So nothing to report there. As I'm now with Easty, who's in 4th place, is with a bucket penalty, but now he's challenging Speed Jockey, who is, he's quickly got by Speed Jockey, and now look at this, Claim is now being challenged by Easty. So here we have 2 podium places battling with each other, coming down the Moraine sweep into turn 5. Easty looking to get the better of Claim this time around, as he wants to represent the F20R group to the best of his ability. And nice looking paint job, by the way, on that GT. But now Scarhand, who is just ahead of them. So we have our top 3 finishers in, looks like 12th, 13th, 11th, 12th, and 13th place here. I apologize. That's going to be, yep, 11th, 12th, and 13th. So Eastie has fallen off a little bit behind Claim, as Claim is now looking to challenge Scarhand. So we got these three GTs running very strong in the field. My question is, where is Tech Q? Gump, where is Tech Q? He's
looking through the field right now.
Ferrari. Yep. He was the quickest Ferrari in the. Yep. Oh, Clay making a move on Scarhand, going into Canada corner. It actually pulls it off. A hard move on the brakes as Scarhand and Clay are now battling bumper to bumper with Eastie salivating, looking to capitalize on any mistakes. Oh, a big spin! Eastie and Scarhand have come together.
Oh, no.
And a big spin. A disaster strikes for the GTs. I did not get a full view of what happened there, but it looked like Eastie may have gotten into the back of Scarhand, not sure. But disaster for sure for those two drivers.
Somebody's going to be hot
all
under
the
the
other
helmet
drivers.
for sure.
Oh, I would think so. See if you can get a damage report on those two while I cover the front runners here. That would be great to know if we have an issue there. Fortunately, they are not too far from the pits. I don't know if either one of them has pitted, but Eagle Eye out in front of this thing with a huge lead. As nothing to report there, just running by himself, kind of running away with this thing. Kart Racer in second place and a GT as well. VMAX in a Ferrari in third. Good to see a Ferrari in the top three with Cow Molester threatening VMAX also in a Ferrari as they go through the kink here on the back two-thirds part of the track here. VMAX going a little wide through the kink, picking up a little dirt there. A lot of action to call here. Very big circuit. Cars get spread out through the pitting and whatnot. So Cow Molester looking to reel in as they come through the final turn 14, looking to reel in VMAX. Cow Molester getting a nice drive, and VMAX is ducking into the pits, which will give Cow Molester a nice clean track to run without any obstructions. Looks like another driver in the pits. So a couple drivers in the pits as Cow Molester stays out and inherits a podium position of third. So again, we've got a GT 1-2 with a Ferrari third. So
just to
I
report,
did pick Cow Molester as my dark horse, but go ahead.
Yes, you did. Just to report earlier, the incident between Scarhand and Eastie. Unfortunately, Scarhand was the unlucky recipient of quite a bit of damage as he's gone into the pits and fixed what was wrong, and he is back out, but well down the order.
As you would assume so with a collision like that. So very unfortunate mishap between those two drivers. And now I have to report VMAX being attacked by Tech Q going down. What part of the track is this? I think it's going into the carousel. VMAX on the outside makes an outside pass. I'm sorry, AXR Tech Q making an outside pass on VMAX, as I'm not exactly sure what part of the track we're on here. Oh, it looks like it's going down into turn 5. So yes, a very nicely done pass by AXR Tech Q in the Ferrari, passing another Ferrari, F4R VMAX, as they come through turn 5, up under the Corvette bridge into turn 6. This is where the Ferrari does shine. We got Forza Fun just behind them. And looking like they're coming through turn 7 here, down the hurry downs into turn 8. AXR Tech Q starting to stretch a lead there as Claim looking to capitalize Hungary as well. Actually race 1 winner, just a few seconds behind Tech Q here. So Tech Q's got his work cut out for him to hold that position. As we see him coming through the carousel, and I'm going to jump on board with Claim as he is now threatening Forza Fun in the Ferrari here. So Claim's going to get through this section of the track, which is a little bit more difficult for the GT. And Forza Fun now has a mirror full of a Ford GT and RRC Claim. So I imagine Claim will probably bide his time until he gets through this section, which really favors the Ferrari, but then try to exploit the power of, or the lack of power of the Ferrari going down the straight. So let's see how this works out. As a bit of contact. Claim has got into the back of Forza Fun and went off circuit slightly, lost at least 2 to 3 seconds. Is really gonna hurt his chances of a double victory. So
he's gonna have
RRC Claim in 10th place.
He's gonna have to knuckle down and get back to it.
I called it. What I thought he was gonna play his cards ever so slightly to try to exploit the straight line speed, but maybe what have happened there is he's trying to maximize his exit speed and got himself in a little bit too hot on the brakes, possibly. He probably could have passed him either way on the straight with the power of that GT, but either way, we're not sure if it was a mistake or maybe what happened there. But yeah, big loss of time for him. So now he's feeling the pressure of a speed jockey in 10th place. So we got RRC Claim currently in 9th, who was our race 1 winner. Eagle Eye still running up front with a Calmla for 2nd place, followed by Zikadet, who's in the GT in 3rd. How far back is Cal in the Ferrari from our 1st place? He's not even in sight, so it's got quite a lead there. Eagle Eye really stretching it out. So BOP, maybe something to consider here after we've seen the exploitation of the lack of power on the Ferrari here. BOP balance of performance is always on the table for future races. What do you think we're seeing here for a potential change in power there?
Well, I think it's definitely something the race officials are going to have to consider, because as a Ferrari driver, you hate to just get walked by the competition. So I'm sure there will be some appeals on the table.
Absolutely. So looking at my track map here, we see the second group, which was the well, we're going to call it a penalized drivers. They're finishing in the top 3. They are blue, while all the other drivers are in red. So if you see a red banner on a car, they were in the 1st bucket. If you see a blue banner, they were in the 2nd bucket. So for all viewers, that will give you a little bit of opportunity to see and understand what you're seeing here. So I'm still seeing quite a bit of grouping. We got a 3rd place kart racer being hounded by a 4th place Tech Q. I'm going to stay with this at the moment and see if Tech Q is going to reel him in after they get through turn 5, because that's where the Ferrari really tends to really shine. So from what we've seen in practice and qualifying, look at that kart racer off circuit. Look at the curve penalty there, and now Tech Q trying to reel him in through this section of the track, which favors the Ferrari. Coming down through turn 7, down the hurry downs, into turn 8. Tech Q not quite there as close as I thought he would be, so kart racer doing a great job. Really keeping the pace up on that GT.
If you want some good racing back here in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, we've got an angry pack of cars all fighting for a spot.
Okay, 12th place is Racer. I'm going to jump on with you there now. Look at this. We sure do. As a bunch of Ford GTs and a couple Ferraris, thank you for pointing that out. This is a really good battle here. Late back in the pack, most of these drivers, I would assume, have pitted. Would that be correct?
I think you're correct, yes. We've got 1st place has made his pit stop.
So Twisted, who did not make the 1st race, is currently in 10th place in a GT. Leading this pack is Veloster 1 in the Ferrari, unable to attack there at Canada Corner, so Twisted making his way out of Canada Corner there through the Thunder Valley Bill Mitchell bend. He's going to definitely have an advantage once they get through the final corner there. I see some smoke in the back. Was that Z-Cadet?
Z-Cadet is off.
Z-Cadet?
He's taking out a couple of traffic cones.
Oh, Z-Cadet getting intimate with traffic cones. As Popcorn in 13th place. Oh, yeah, great battle right in front of Popcorn. Has a front row seat for Z-Cadet versus Racer. Coming down, both in GTs, coming down into turn 1. Are they going to give each other room here? Both these cars really need the full track to carry their line for maximum speed. Looks like they did a nice job there. I'm going to take a look at Forza Fun and see. Look at Scarhand in 19th place.
I feel gutted for him. That's not how he wanted his race to go.
Absolutely not how he wanted to go. I'm not. See, oh, we got Forza Fun in 6th. So I'm going to take a look. Look at this. Forza Fun is making a move on Claim, or maybe the other way around. Forza Fun just in front of Claim. As, yeah, I'm going to say that Claim has re-caught Forza Fun, making a move up the inside. Gets by there nice and easy. I think that Forza Fun probably relegated that position, knowing that he had a little bit less pace. So, smart move to not create any contact, as RCC Claim may have penalty time. But now Forza Fun going into the carousel, staring down the back of Claim here, looking to make up a little bit of ground. Nice looking paint job there by Forza Fun, his livery as well. Another thing I'm noticing here, Mr. Gump, is some of these cars do not have the WEC logo properly placed as posted in the regulations.
Yeah.
So, RRC Claim, not to call him out, but not running any required logos at all. So, not sure, if his designers got the memo.
Yeah, I'm sure the race officials will be on him come race ends.
Well, that is definitely a warrantable offense. I do believe I'd have to review the policy and rule book, but several warnings could incur a penalty. But not running the race logo is a definite warning, which would not incur any points penalty. But hopefully they can get that fixed. Right. As Cow Molester exiting the pits, now coming out in front of Speed Jockey are these two. He does a good job. Looks like he stays within the pit lane exit limits there, as we see Claim now putting some distance between him and Forza Fun. We'll take a look at AXR Tech Q, who is in a 3rd place position, the fastest Ferrari at the moment, as Claim is, I gotta say, Gump, this race has kind of got away from me. We are on lap 10 of 11.
Oh my goodness,
and
yeah, I just see that now.
This race has 1.5 laps left till completion. I think we got so caught up in the race action that we lost a lap count here. But VMAX in 5th, followed by Forza Fun in 6th. 7th place, not sure who that was. I wasn't able to really see. But I'm going to take a look at the front and see if Eagle Eye and Kart Racer. Look at this. Kart Racer being threatened by Tech Q. Going through the carousel now. This is a spot where I think Tech Q is probably going to gain ground on him. Let's see. He's been working this battle here for the last couple laps. Tech Q doing a great job getting through the kink. I'm going to report on this battle here as we are coming down to the white flag for these two drivers. Please do tell if you see another battle in the field that is worthy of our attention.
Will do. Everybody is kind of spread out near the back of the field here. Oh,
so again, podium position.
Veloster 1 off in the kink, hit the wall hard.
Oh, was he in the middle of the track? Did he cause other drivers to maybe check up? That's always a very dangerous place to crash.
That is probably the fastest part of the track to crash. He has taken some slight engine damage with the hit. But yeah, his Ferrari is battered and beaten, but he's still going.
Well, I'm going to have to update the viewers here. AXR Tech Q about a half a second behind Kart Racer, so we're a battle here for second and third place. The first place driver, Eagle Eye, so far ahead, not even within sight. And Kart Racer running down the Moraine sweep here into turn 5, stretching the legs of that GT on the Ferrari. But this is the last lap here, so Eagle Eye just in view there, so not completely running away with it. But looks like a bit of a spin there by Kart Racer. Eagle Eye's gonna have the lap of his life. I'm sorry, AXR Tech Q's gonna have the lap of his life to catch Kart Racer through here. And is he gonna be able to do it? This is where, going into the carousel here, this is where Tech Q and his Ferrari should be able to reel him in, but he is pretty far back. Yeah, it looks as though Kart Racer has gotten everything out of the handling of that GT, as Tech Q is not able to do anything with him at this moment. So I was hoping to have an exciting last lap battle here, but it is not materializing. What do you got in the back there?
Well, if you take a look back at 7th and 8th place, Kyle Molester's trying to chase down Speed Jockey to get that last final spot. I don't know. He may. Man, it's hard to say. He's within three car lengths coming into the last series of corners.
Yep, I see it now. I see what you're saying. Kyle Molester really working it, but it looks like they are going to finish where they are. So I want to congratulate AXR Eagle Eye with the win with Kart Racer doing a great job holding on to second place in the GT. So we got GT1-2 Ferrari of AXR Tech Q third. Good to see a Ferrari on the podium. And Claim, which is our race 1 winner, off podium in 4th place, followed by VMAX, great job, Forza Fun in 6th, Speed Jockey 7th, and Cow in 8th. Twisted missed race 1 in 9th place. And to finish up the top 10 is going to be Racer. So 11th place is going to be Popcorn, followed by Dragon, Papers, Z-Cadet, Easty in 15th place. How did Easty finish in 15th? I do believe because he got into it with one of the other drivers.
Scarhands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So very tough to see that, but we do have an attrition issue here as several drivers DNF'd.
Hate to see that. Real quick, I gotta give props to Claim. If you do remember, he started 8 seconds. He had an 8-second delayed start. Started all the way from the back of the field and was able to work his way up to 4th place. So hats off to Claim for getting that done. That couldn't have been an easy task.
I'd have to agree with you there. And great job to Claim. We are now in our countdown.
Should we
race end countdown?
Should we get our race winners on the radio?
I got a picture. I got a picture here on my stream. It's incredible. I have never seen this before. I got Ferraris and GTs piled on top of each other with about 20 people, spectators, standing on top of the pile. This is incredible. So all the viewers, this is quite a treat. I have never seen anything like this in Forza.
You need to take a screenshot of that and share it.
I'm going to have to take a screenshot of this right now.
That's great.
Oh, this is good stuff. I'm capturing screenshot right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a pile of WEC Racing drivers and cars, and with a white background with about 15 to 20 spectators just standing on the pile. So that's good stuff. All right, so I don't know, Mr. Gump, what's your assessment of what we just witnessed?
Oh, good good all-around racing. I mean, we had the unfortunate coming together of two cars, but I think if you were to look at replays and telemetry and everything, I think it would just come down to good, hard racing. Two people trying to occupy one spot. So no, I was impressed. I was impressed with everybody.
Agreed.
Everybody seemed to race very clean. If you watch back in the stream or the replays.
By the way, just to let you know, I sent an invite out for an interview, so we will
awesome. Yes.
expect to see that happen here shortly.
But both races, lap 1, turn 1, everybody was given plenty of room. Everybody was being respectful. That's good stuff. You hate to see people get punted. You hate to see people get punted off track due to this or that.
I'm hoping that some of our drivers saved the replay. I will have to take a screenshot of the final race results as well, but I think we are still waiting for our race timer here. I'm back in the lobby now, so I can get to previous race, take a screenshot of that. And I have invited Mr. Claim into the broadcast booth, so we will give him a few minutes and see if he is able to join us for a quick little interview.
One thing to note is we will have to make it or require him to include his audio, or it will just sound like we're talking to ourselves.
I am also going to get our second race winner, who would be Mr. Eagle Eye. Let's see if we could get him in here as well. And once we are able to interview our two race winners, I do want to get a word with some of our other podium finishers that may have ran into some problems in the race. So thank you, Mr. AXR Eagle Eye. We want to first ask you, have you included your audio for this interview?
Yes.
Yes, please, or else the viewers will not be able to hear you.
How's it going?
Hey, great. Just let us know once you've got that little box checked.
Yeah, audio is now included.
Okay, well, first of all, congratulations on a race 2 win.
Thank you.
Very well executed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you got myself, Speedcurves, and Gump here. We just want to ask you a couple quick questions. And how was that race for you? I mean, you finished a first place. I'm sorry, a 7th place, I do believe, in the first race, which probably isn't where you wanted to be. But you took a second number 2 race win. So how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, so first race for me, I had a damaged gearbox. So I kind of halted my progression a little bit. So it kind of affected the race with turning in. So that's due to my finish there. And then the second race was quite easy, I think. I was luckily able to navigate my way through the traffic. And once I'd done that, I was just free to focus on what I was doing. So it was a good win.
Absolutely.
I'm pleased.
Very good win. Very good win. Did you have fun?
I did indeed. It was a good race. I had lots of fun, and appreciate you guys for hosting the event for us.
Yeah, no problems.
Absolutely.
Gump here real quick. Do you feel that the GT had a definite advantage over the Ferrari, or do you think it was just come down to driver skill?
I think they're kind of trade-off cars. You have the Ford that has quite a brute speed down the straights, but the Ferrari can really stick it in a corner, so it kind of balances out. Although it does look like the Ford kind of just blows away the Ferrari in a way, but it's just a deception, I believe.
Good to know.
We definitely saw the Ford exploiting the weaknesses of the Ferrari. Up here from the broadcast booth, we didn't really see a lot of exploitation of the Ford in the carousel and the kink that we were expecting. So there was quite a bit. There was quite a bit of good fast racing from the GT as far as its capabilities in the tighter sections where you would expect the Ferrari to kind of excel. But it seems that I mean, you obviously won the race, and would you agree with that the Ferrari wasn't able to exploit the GT as well as it would have liked to in those sections?
Yeah, I think you've got so many variables with it as well because you've got other traffic to consider, and if you're trying to defend someone at the same time going into those corners, then that's going to affect your speed you're carrying through it. So it kind of makes that exploit a little bit more difficult to execute, especially when you're defending people behind you.
Okay. Well, Gump, you got any other questions for him? We got another driver lined up for an interview here that's willing to jump in here.
Awesome. No, I'd just like to say congratulations, Eagle Eye, on an excellent a couple of races. And we look forward to seeing you and the rest of everybody else 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, indeed, and
Absolutely.
I'll look forward to it too. Thank you very much.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you, sir. We want to welcome RCC Claim to the broadcasting booth for a quick interview. Thanks for joining us after the second race here.
No problem.
Have you included your audio?
I have included my audio today. I forgot to do it last night because I had a brain fart, I suppose.
Absolutely, no problem. It happens. So, we wanted to bring you in the broadcast booth. Obviously, race 1 win, big deal. We were commenting on your second race as well with a delayed start, being that you were a podium finisher race 1, and you were able to navigate through traffic and finish 4th place, I do believe. Was it a 4th place for race 2?
Yes. It was 4th place for race 2, yes.
Okay, I'm really dying to hear about your thoughts on that experience you just had with race 2 and whatever you can tell us about race 1.
So I guess I'll start at race 2 since that just happened. I actually thought I was going to hate your delay that y'all have in there, and I actually like it a lot. It gave us just enough time to have a quick battle before we caught the field and to not get super chained up. And then going through the pack was pretty good. There were unfortunately a couple taps here and there, but it was a very good race all in all, and made pretty good progress coming through the field. I couldn't quite catch the top 3 though. Those suckers were moving up there. They're not far off our pace, so it was very good.
Let me ask you this, being that we are talking about race 2, so some of the talking points with the fans and spectators and commentators was that factoring in issues of a delayed start that you were in for race 2, you were actually going to have a better opportunity to catch the pack because the group 1 was slowing each other down so much from traffic,
Right.
which allowed the second group, even though they were delayed, to run a second and a half faster lap. So the delayed penalty really wasn't all that much of a burden for you.
100% agree. If we could have put it on lap 1, I don't think it'd have been a burden at all. Because we could have just straight got away from it. So yeah, I think that was a good move. And you don't have a driver that's several seconds faster up on their rear end anyway.
Right.
Now race 1 was really interesting. Easty, his gearing setup must be set, and it allowed him to get a much better launch than me. I might have to look into that. But he took off on the first lap, and catching him was a little difficult. I think my pitch strategy worked really good in that aspect, but it was still close.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a very exciting race for us to commentate, to watch. We want to say thank you for participating in the WEC Racing League. And are you going to be able to make the next race, which is going to be down in Daytona, which is in Upper Florida, in 2 weeks' time?
Absolutely, I will be there. I have
Awesome.
cleared my schedule to make sure I can run this series. I'm really excited about it.
Excellent.
Well, with results like you got today, you should be. So we will be posting results later today on the webpage and total points for this race. So again, great job, Gump. I mean, if you got anything for Mr. Claim.
No, just a congratulation goes out for overall performance, man. You crushed it, race 2, going from
Yes, you did.
from the bottom 3 to the
Or
yeah,
20th.
to fourth. Yeah, that's a hell of an accomplishment, man. You should be proud of that. No, just great job, good stuff. We were commenting in the stream that the racing action was so good that we had lost count of actual lap count. So
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
so we're like, oh
Yeah.
crap, we've got 2 laps left.
Yeah,
But,
we
good
were
stuff.
about to see a checkered flag and not even know it. So
No, I mean,
me.
thank you both. And let me just say, beautiful setup for the series. I mean, the cars are well balanced. The racing's good. So thank both of you for setting
Excellent.
it up.
absolutely, we appreciate you having us. I got another driver lined up for an interview, and once we complete this, I do want to interview the top Ferrari driver.
Mr. Tech Q.
It's been all Ford. Yeah, Mr. Tech Q. Been all Ford at this point, and I think it's only right to hear from some of the Italian factory drivers. So once
Bellissimo.
again,
Sounds good.
yeah, thanks again, Mr. Claim. Excellent job today, and we look forward to calling more of your race action in the very near future.
Sounds good. I'll see y'all next week.
See you on Monday,
sir.
bud.
All right, I have sent an invite out to Mr. Tech Q, and hopefully
Awesome.
get him in here very quickly. I'm getting messages from various people around the world who have been watching our stream, which is quite exciting.
That is awesome. Is
They're
it
sending me
through your
messages on Facebook Messenger?
okay. I was gonna see if you had any activity in the Twitch chat.
Yo.
Okay, I have just spoken with the driver rep of AXR Tech Q. He sent his representative up here to the booth and let us know that the driver had to just do a quick little errand and will be up here with us any minute. So
Oh, excellent.
we will definitely get an interview in with him. And he's up there. He is now. He just came in. So AXR Tech Q, welcome to the broadcast booth. Thank you for joining us for a quick little interview.
Oh yeah, this is dude. Today was just awesome.
Great
And,
news. That's good to hear. Go ahead, Gump.
Well, I just gonna just quick congratulations on being the fastest Ferrari in
Yeah.
the group.
It's a hard car to drive fast. You got to get everything so right. And I even ended up taking a little bit of engine damage in the second race because I was just trying to pound out laps. I was trying to get ahead of Kart Racer, I think is his name, the guy that finished second in the second race.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And the car just doesn't have the nuts to hang with the GT on that particular track. But I think there's a couple upcoming tracks where I think that balance of power is going to level itself out.
Yeah, I understand. So, we were really pushing for anybody in a Ferrari to show some pace. And again, you were the top Ferrari, which is why we are excited to have you in the booth for an interview. Can you give me a little bit of race action story of maybe race 1 or race 2, or maybe a favorite part of anything that took place today, as you were the top representative for the Italian company?
Well, in that second race, I think one of the cars went off the track, and that the reverse grid order really makes it tough because you've got a group of guys at the sharp end of the field that they need to get a little bit better. That's the reason why they're at the sharp end of the field, because of the lower finish in the first race. And
That is true.
guys coming off the track, going off the track and then just coming right back on caused an awful lot of problems for a number of drivers at the halfway point through the second lap. I lucked out and managed to weave my way through and didn't put a wheel wrong, didn't get touched, didn't go off the track. Nothing happened to me. I made it through there. But a lot of guys didn't, and that was discouraging because if we could have kept it clean through there, it was setting everybody up for some really competitive matchups.
Right.
In the first race, I kind of boned it by pitting at the wrong time. The group that was ahead of me was holding me up, and I just jumped into the pits without thinking. So that kind of sucked. But other than that, you know, it was a good race, and you know, there was a lot of guys that were showing some incredible pace today. I mean, Claim with that 14.9 in the practice session before we did the qualifying was just insane. I don't think I could.
Absolutely.
You could give me a year to turn laps at that track in the Ferrari, and I'm not getting a 14.9.
Oh, no. I think you could do it.
Maybe. I
Well,
don't know,
you did
dude.
great. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a good race.
I'm
I had a
curious
lot
to
of
see
fun.
how race. Yeah, from the broadcasting, spectating aspect, I'm curious to see how these results will, if they will indeed be reviewed closely by the race direction and the the WEC Racing Series to see if there needs to be some adjustments, because it was a pretty dominant race today. I mean, we have you up here as the top Ferrari, but the Ford GTs, it's tough to swallow the dominance that they had here today. So
Yeah, it was discouraging, but you know, I knew going in that, you know, it was going to be tough. I specifically selected the Ferrari because I wanted to see how I could match up against the top guys that were all in the Fords. You know, I feel like I did as good as I could have. You know, and that doesn't take anything away from the guys in the Fords who had to put down the laps in order to get the position that they finished. You know, it's no gimme. You know, I'm just off of their pace.
Yep.
But I feel pretty good about it. More importantly, it was just two great races. I had a blast in both races.
Awesome. We love to hear that.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you know, I hope everybody else feels the same way.
Well, I want to say thanks for joining us in the broadcast booth. Gump, anything else? Have at it. And
I was just going to
back to the party.
While we still had Tech up here in the booth with us, do you think the Fords were dominant just because of the track today, or do you think that race control needs to look at maybe a little more balance?
You know, obviously, I'm going to have a biased response to that because I'm in the Ferrari. I don't think the Ferrari needs a bunch more power. But I think that the level of competition today between the two marques definitely kind of leaned towards the Fords over the Ferrari. I know that we get a BOP bump for the next race, and I'll be interested to see how that plays out. One place that I did notice in some of the testing was that the Ferrari managed to get through the bus stop at a significantly higher pace than the Ford. My pace into the bus stop and my pace out of the bus stop was better than the Fords on pretty much every lap that I did in the preseason testing. But when we drop back down to the 711 PI for, is it Sebring?
Sebring.
Yeah, that's probably where we're going to want to maybe take another look at it. But I don't think it's like the car doesn't need a whole lot more power. It just needs a little bit more jump out of the turns, I think would make the difference. I don't think that the Ferrari, if you were to give the Ferrari the same top speed as the Ford, with the handling that the Ferrari has, the bias would then tilt towards Ferrari in a way that I don't think is fair. Because if you had the speed of the Ford along with the handling that the Ferrari has,
Sure. Of course.
it's going to just blow the doors off of the GT, and I don't want to see that happen.
Of course not. Yep.
It's going to be tricky.
It is. I think everybody's happy today. I know I am with.
Yeah, I'm
the
happy
racing.
with the way it turned out. I don't feel bad walking away, getting kind of run around by the Fords because, like I said, I think the next race I might have a little bit of an advantage in some key spots that are going to help me at Daytona.
Did you happen to see the incident between Easty and Scarhand?
No.
Those two GTs were battling for position. They both went off circuit and incurred some damage there. So
That's what I heard. No, I did not see it. That happened
okay.
behind me in the second race.
Gotcha. All right.
I also think that the 8-second roll-off might want... I'm not sure about that. It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, I was the beneficiary
Well,
of that 8-second roll-off.
Claim was right behind you with an 8-second penalty. So if it would have been much less, you might have been dealing with a Ford GT. At the end of that race. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. It was something that we all talked about and wondered, was this going to be an adequate balance? So,
and without Scarhand and Easty coming together, I'm sure that the whole group of them would have been, right where Claim was at the end of that last lap.
Sure.
Because those guys are all just crazy fast.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tech Q, for joining us today, and we hope that you will be ready to race 2 weeks' time at Daytona.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait for Daytona.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah, man. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Gump.
Cheers, buddy. Yes, sir.
What's your sign-off again?
Keep the wheels spinning, the beavers grinning.
There you go, man. I'll talk to you guys later.
We're gonna adapt that one. We're gonna adapt that one for this series. So we appreciate that final thing. So, with that said, Mr. Gump, I think we had a successful broadcast today, and looking forward to hearing some feedback. We always encourage feedback from anybody listening.
Good or bad.
Criticism, or good or bad, because we want to get better. You would agree with that. So anything anybody has to say, we gladly listen to and try to get some tips for future broadcasts. So with that said, great job today. Enjoyed being up here in the booth with you. First time working with you. And it was a lot of fun for me. So I hope it was for you.
Yes, many weeks of months have gone past where we've been duking it out on the track in random series.
Yes, we have.
So it's a change of pace, sitting right next to you in the broadcast booth, calling the action. So I appreciate the invite to join you on this little series we've got going, and look forward to 2 weeks from now in Daytona.
All right, absolutely.
Best bring your.
All right, well, ladies.